Well, we know ISIS is losing ground. One of the biggest blows to the terror group is the fall of Raqqa, their de facto capital. Fox News military analyst and retired four-star General Jack Keane joins us now to break down sort of what comes next, the future of ISIS. We've been talking about it for years now. I want to put up a map for you and our viewers to look at, and you can see sort of where ISIS has lost territorial control and where they still have control. I want to get your reaction to this because when you look at it, initially you think to yourself, well, we are gaining so much ground, and you do hear that. But at the same time, they're moving to other places, they're moving to other continents at this point, and it's very, very fluid. We heard that from Senator Lindsey Graham this week, that the fight is still quite important.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, well, first of all, let's give credit where credit is due. What our troops did, largely U.S. led forces. Our guys were on the ground with the Syrian Democratic Forces to take Raqqa back. This thing took months to do. Some of the toughest fighting that infantry-type forces really do. I think it should have been done a couple of years ago under the Obama administration because this was always the main effort, but Obama made Iraq the main effort even though the forces weren't ready anyway. This should have been the main effort. ISIS would not have expanded into 30 countries and become the iconic force it became that we all witnessed so painfully. But here we are. This is a good thing. But if we can bring that map back up again, can we bring it up?
Yep.
But when you look at the dark orange on the map, that's what ISIS still controls. And you see the town Deir ez-Zor there. South of there is where all the ISIS leaders are. So they're still very much in control of the organization. That all has to be cleaned out, and before ISIS is totally out of Syria. And that's very important. Complicating this, and it's a serious complication, is the Iranians want to control all of Syria. They control western Syria with the Assad regime and the Russians, but they want to control eastern Syria because that builds their land bridge from Iran through Iraq, through Syria, to Lebanon, what we've spoken about before. They are approaching Deir ez-Zor right now with their ground forces, and they want to take control of eastern Syria. And as of right now, we have no plan whatsoever.
And that's what I was going to ask you, because we heard Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, and it was just today, really saying that there were efforts to bring together Saudi Arabia and Iraq to create this alliance, to open up the air travel between these two countries and whatnot. And a lot of it was because you see Iran and you see Russia capitalizing on the fact that there are vacuums that are filled when we do eliminate some of these terror groups. So what is the strategy going forward to prevent those countries from getting involved, like you said, from getting Iran from keeping Iran out?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question, Elizabeth. I mean, you know, we just unveiled our strategy dealing with Iran, and it was good to see it. It was comprehensive, but it really doesn't deal with this issue that we're talking about that is so crucial. The Iranian strategic objective is really to control all of Syria, and they will put pressure on Jordan, they will put pressure on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and they will put pressure on Israel. These are their strategic objectives. So giving them the eastern part of Syria, just letting them take it, is a huge strategic mistake. We don't see any plans to counter that. We cannot take back Western Syria without a major military effort, and there's no political will for that. But we do not have to give them Eastern Syria. Right. The Sunnis would participate with us in stopping that from happening. And I don't believe it would take a lot of presence to really prevent it from happening. We're just talking about containing them. And that's a critical aspect of moving forward. Also, Iran has tremendous influence inside Iraq. They really have more influence over the government of Iraq than the United States has. And that's the other reason why Secretary Tillerson is there, certainly talking to the Saudis about that and making certain that Iraq moves forward as an ally of the United States. But we have ceded political influence to the Iranians in Iraq despite the military successes that we had so much influence over. And our strategy just isn't tough enough in dealing with the Iraqi government and also dealing with the Iranians. And hopefully this strategy will evolve and we'll be pushing back on Iran inside of Iraq and also in Syria.
I'm getting the rap in my ear, but I just want to ask you very, very quickly. We heard Senator Lindsey Graham say, listen, it's changing as we speak. Do you like to see that type of awareness that even lawmakers and folks at the Pentagon are saying it's a whole new ball game? It seems as if the war on terror always continues to change.
Radical Islam is a global movement that's generational for sure. and we have to push back on it comprehensively. We have the right strategy. We're not going to put U.S. troops fighting all over the world.
Right.
We can't do that. But we can help our partners. That's what Africa is all about. That's what Southeast Asia is all about. That's what the Philippines is all about. That's the right strategy. Now, how well we do that and what kind of resources we apply to that deserve to be looked at and examined.
General Jack Keane, thank you so much.
Good talking to you.
I
Elizabeth.
appreciate it.